I'm in my orange cowgirl hat and thought I'd give a fun little fact about myself. My dad is a cowboy.
A real cowboy.
And my dad's a real cowboy. Born in Montana. He was born and raised in Montana. My roots are from Montana. I've got a little bit of cowgirl blood in me, just become a little cityfied.
The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Knapik. Thank you for joining us again on another Go Texan edition. That's right. You hear the music, and we celebrate the largest rodeo probably on the planet, but certainly here in the United States, in Houston, Texas, the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. We pay tribute. How do we do that? By wearing Western wear when we do the show. That's right. So tune in to the YouTube channel at Stewart.com/radio, Stewart.com/radio. That way you can see us in the Western gear, and it is extra special today, as our guests are. We're going to first start with a tremendous organization right here in Houston, an organization called Cowboys for Heroes. We have Charles Norris and Greg Lyles here to tell us about that. In addition, we're going to talk about the Energy Corridor with a super real estate professional, and we'll have a campfire chat with our Houston Division President of Stewart Title coming up later in the show. But first, let's talk to Greg and Charles with Cowboys for Heroes. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us, Bill.
Thanks for having us.
Here we are. We took a moment to get off the trail, and we're going to talk about your organization, guys. First of all, Charles, let's tell people about Cowboys for Heroes.
The Cowboys for Heroes, we are here to assist our military families, our veterans, and our first responders. We've been helping those groups since 2010 by providing them with nutritional support to different programs that are supporting them in the local area.
A super cause, no doubt about it. Greg, let's tell people a little bit from your perspective how you guys started the organization, because I understand both of you started it those many years ago.
We did. Our first effort kind of supporting our veteran community was we did a deer hunt at Canyon Lake. And so it was a great event, had 16 or 17 soldiers that were transitioning out of the military, and some were, they were severely injured at the time in wheelchairs, and they had just recently some of them were at Fort Hood that were in the first massacre there. So it was a great event for us to do, but with 100 volunteers supporting 16 people for 3 days, we kind of quickly realized we need to take our efforts somewhere else. And so we quickly transitioned to how can we feed people, because everybody's got to eat. So we started shortly after that, went to our first auction at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo at the Junior Commercial Contest, and we started buying steer and having them custom processed and feeding first just soldiers and veterans. Now we feed first responders. We were down on the border a couple months ago and fed 500 steak dinners to those guys and ladies, which was a lot of fun.
As far as the funds for your organization, and we want to tell people right off the bat how they might be able to help, because you are a nonprofit organization. Let's tell people, Charles, how people can help right off the bat.
Yes, Cowboys for Heroes, or C4H Inc. is a 501c3. We are dependent upon people like yourselves that are out there that are willing to help us, help our heroes, and provide good meals for them at the different programs that we go and do.
And when we talk about the veterans, as far as the challenges, there are, as Greg, you alluded to, physical challenges, but there's also mental things that happen that your organization is helping. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I guess we can talk about other groups we support, but we support Camp Hope, PTSD, Foundation of America, and our group has fed them probably 90+% of any red meat that group has eaten for the last 12 years. So we started around the same time. We partnered slow when we were both small, and we've kind of grown together. We continue to feed them now. And the other programs we help support too are we'll go fill freezers. We have a couple of home builders here in town that build houses, and Pulte's one of them. So we'll go fill 3 freezers in April just to go support families where they've lost their soldier or he's back, and the families are just struggling as they're injured and can't work as much as they should or could.
And as you're talking about, we've already mentioned, it doesn't sound like there's a vegetarian element to this. You're making me hungry with all that when you talk steak dinners and that sort of thing. But right now, I would think any organization needs more help than ever. We're hearing about not only gas prices going through the roof, but for the last couple of months, we've heard about beef prices. So it sounds like to help the people that have served that are in need right now, it sounds like the costs are going up, Charles.
Well, they certainly have, and actually, this last week at our auction that we attend every year at the rodeo, prices were a little bit more than normal, but we're more than committed to making sure that we are taking care of our guys and supporting our program partners, and we'll continue to do so. It's very important for especially our soldiers that are fighting those unseen wounds of war and. To have good nutritional meals to eat, and we want to make sure we bring them the absolute best Texas-raised beef that they can have.
Once again, I'm starting to get hungry. But in the meantime, what are some of the other things that people, or that were elements to inspire you guys to put this together? Because I understand you both started this at the same time as a joint effort.
We did. Years ago, it's kind of on my heart to help serve soldiers, and just through the years, Charles and I working together, talking together, it kind of birthed itself into doing a deer hunt, and then we're doing what we do now. Charles and I are the first in our family not to serve in the military. It's an excessively easy group to serve, and Harris County has more veterans than any other county in the country. The VA hospital is large here. It's one of the largest federal buildings in the country. So when somebody exits the military and they come to Houston, Texas, because if they need physical help with the hospital or mental help with the hospital, then it's easy to come here. And so we're rich with the opportunity to serve our soldiers and our first responders as well. There are so many here. We couldn't raise enough money and buy enough beef to go process it to feed everybody.
Full-time initiative, huh?
It is, and Charles and I, there's nobody on salary at Cowboys for Heroes. So what you put in minus a few credit card fees, etc. Nothing goes to pay staff. We don't have an office. So it goes straight to feed people we need to feed.
So from the donor standpoint, Charles, people have been giving you donations, your organization, right? Let's tell people how they can do so. The website?
The website is Cowboys4heroes.com, and that's with an ES for Cowboys4heroes.com. There is a contribute link on that page where you can go and make a contribution to us to help us with our efforts, to learn more about us as well. Mine and Greg's phone numbers are both on there. If you want to give us a call and talk about what we do and how you think you may be able to help, we'd love to have you come join us.
And in addition, that's what I was getting at, in addition to funds as far as donation from a financial standpoint, if someone wants to donate their time in some way, shape, or form, that's also possible.
Yeah, obviously that's needed. We need your time. Our group is unique in that everything that we do, we invite you to attend with us. So when we go deliver meat to Camp Hope, we ask you to come and help us do it. We'll take you to our butcher if you want to see the process of what we're doing in feeding out and managing our calves. When we go to the border, we want you to come with us to go see the various people we're feeding. So we're unique in that way. And we're also, on the other side of that, we're always looking for new groups that need us to support them with the meat we have. So if somebody has a nonprofit or a group that helps soldiers or first responders, then we're here to support them as well. So they could give us a call and we can have those conversations.
I'm looking at your card here. It says since 2010, over 1.5 million meals have been served. That's tremendous work.
It's amazing what has happened, and it's the outpouring of support from our local community here in Houston. We have a lot of people from around the state that come and work with us. When we first started feeding people, we started off at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, which is a joint base now, and started working with chuck wagoners over there and feeding people out of chuck wagons, which was and is still just absolutely amazing. Since then, we've moved up. We do a program at Fort Hood now as well. Last October, we fed 15,000 soldiers and their families in about 4 hours from chuck wagons and barbecue pits. It's quite a sight to see, and we need as much help as we can at that point in time when we go do those things.
So certainly, if you're listening, this is a great organization to help. As far as the gratification, I would imagine for both of you and your organization and those that financially participate, and also the volunteers, it must be very rewarding to see the results and to talk to the first responders and the veterans. What's it like? Tell us, Greg.
It's hard to explain when you talk to a veteran or a first responder, especially if you're going to their house and feeding them, and you kind of get on the inside of the doorstep and have a conversation of real life, what's going on. And that's really really feeding somebody and clothing somebody, giving them a house. It's really where the rubber meets the road in people's lives. And we provide one of those outlets to them. And when we're doing it at a house, or we go to a firehouse, which we'll do here in about 60 or 90 days, once we get some of these calves taken care of, we'll start going and feeding those guys. And to see them, that they have to pay for their own meals, which I didn't realize that until this past year. Don't know how I didn't know that. But feeding first responders, we're going to go. There's a police officer who died about 60 days ago. He was off duty, so we're going to go do a fundraiser for his family. He's got 3 little girls, a wife in nursing school. So we're going to go feed them, do a fundraiser. And so just to save the cost for the charity itself, but also going and feeding that family a freezer full of food after we're done. So it's the gratification. It's hard to put a bow around it because it happens all the time where somebody touches you, says something, and you might tear up and go, and it just kind of goes sideways pretty quickly if you're not paying attention to your emotions. But it's very gratifying every day for what we do.
Again, you're connecting in a very personal way. You're talking about being in the homes, the meals. I would assume you sit down every now and then and have a meal with the people that you're helping. As far as the future, here we are well into this 2022 year, which I don't think people could have imagined how it is in every category of any category you can figure a year to be, financially, politically, all the things that are going on. From the standpoint of your organization, Charles, what do you see? How's it going to play out, or how are things working out so far, and how do you project into the future here to keep the organization going strong and even growing?
Well, as we were talking about with our veteran populations, it's a group that continues to need help. We're still losing 22 a day to suicide. That's just it's unacceptable. We all have to do more to reach out and make sure that we're doing what we can to support the soldier, the veteran, and especially the family. And that's one thing that I think that Greg and I with Cowboys for Heroes, we want to make sure that we're getting the families involved as much as possible, because there's lots of things where the veteran is singled out as being a former military person, and then you have the family over here who sacrifice just the same. And we really try to put the whole family together with other families and when we go and do events. And there's no end to the need of what we're doing. And Greg and I and the rest of the 250 people that are actively involved in Cowboys for Heroes, we're all committed to making sure that we're addressing that one number and that we're putting families back together and helping them move forward down the line with the plan they had before they went to war.
So, Greg, before we close the segment, let's tell people, what else do you want people to know about your organization?
We need your money, your time, and we want to serve our soldiers. So we're on just cowboysforheroes.com, the number 4, and we want your support. We also want to support our community and continue to do that. And fortunately, we're growing and have been for the last 12 years, and we look forward to another 12 or 15 of continued growth.
And there's no doubt the need, as Charles is saying, the need does not go away, probably gets even more important. So, Charles, before we close the segment, what else do you want people to know?
I just want people to give us a call. Get online, give us your information, get in contact with us. We want you to join us, help us do what we're doing, have ideas for us, have groups we can support. Come and join in. Bring people to us that can help support us financially, and let's just do more for our heroes.
And there may be someone listening right now or an organization right now that can be of help. Simply go to Cowboys4, the number 4, heroes.com. That's Cowboys4, number 4, heroes.com. And also you'll find Greg and Charles's numbers right there on the website. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the show. Cowboysforheroes.com.
Thank you, Bill.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Let's talk about the Energy Corridor with broker owner of Energy Realty, Sherry Campbell. Sherry, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me again, Bill. It's been a long time.
I should say welcome back. It has been a super long time.
Yeah.
Here we are. This is show 420, and we're glad that you're able to come to visit us today and bring us up to date on your company and the Energy Corridor. First, let's tell people about your company.
Well, Energy Realty is a small boutique brokerage in the heart of the Energy Corridor. We're located on Eldridge Parkway. I've been open for over 10 years now, right in the center.
Congratulations.
Yes. It's growing. I have over 40 agents, very international. We just did a video recently. We actually speak 12 different languages in our office. So
12? I didn't.
Yeah, we specialize with the international relocation.
Well, that's right. I was going to mention that a little bit later. Let's hit the relocation. But, yes, doing tremendous work. And for those, as I said at the beginning of the show, this is a Go Texan edition. So you really want to tune in because Sherry has the orange cowboy hat on right now.
That's right.
Orange is the color, one of the main colors of your company on the logos and everything else. Stewart.com/radio. So you're also located in the heart of what we call the Energy Corridor. So let's tell people that might be listening, I don't know, Pennsylvania, California, where the Energy Corridor is in Houston, Texas.
Okay, Energy Corridor is right in between Highway 6 and Beltway 8, right off of I-10. And the reason it's called the Energy Corridor, it is where the home of most of the major oil companies sit. Sometimes people say it's like the third downtown. So first downtown is downtown Houston, then you have Galleria area, which is where your radio station is. And the third downtown was considered the Energy Corridor because it's the hub of energy.
And at one time it was a little bit further out from Houston. Now it's in the center. It's the center of activity almost, that area.
Yep, it has been, and it is coming back in a big way right now. So lots of exciting things going on in the Energy Corridor. Before we talk about that, let's tell people about a few of your distinctions at Energy Realty. Besides the fact that we speak 12 different languages?
Well, that's huge. I mean, that's a big one. Pretty big. So as a small boutique brokerage, one of our distinctions is that we really have hands-on personal service. So my agents are really trained to be professionals. I kind of have a new slogan out there. It's called, "We're changing the way we do real estate in Houston." So I have that, and Orange is the New Sold. And I can proudly say that last year, we sold more homes in the Energy Corridor than most of the big brokerages. So we really are taking over. When I opened up the office, I said my dream was to see a sea of orange signs, and that's really coming true today. That's right. And in a tremendous way, your agents, your team has grown. I mean, I remember years ago when it was 20, it was a lot, but here you are with all these people. Yeah. As far as from a leadership standpoint, one of the things I wanted to talk about is how do you lead a team? And more specifically, how do you lead the team through these challenging times that we've had and also record-setting sales? Well, we have to stay on top of the changes. There have been a lot of crazy things that have happened, starting with, we had Harvey hit us, then we had COVID. First of all, we had the oil downturn. Then we had Harvey, then we had COVID. So you really have to be on the ground, and we call it pivoting in this industry, right? How are we going to do business different? Right? And all of those challenges, people still needed to buy and lease homes. So I just made sure that we were open and we were available. So I think that's really the biggest thing. And then we have to, what's changing now is technology. Nowadays, you would be amazed at how many buyers purchase homes during COVID without seeing it. So HAR fast-tracked and started doing what were they called, virtual open houses. So people weren't actually physically able to hold an open house, but we could go to a house, say, here, I'm going to be live. I'll give you a live tour of this house. Click on your cell phone, your computer, whatever. At this time, I'll be here for 30 minutes. If you have any questions, let me know. So that was one of the ways that we all pivoted in the industry. But today, that video has become even more important. And we're still seeing, with so many people relocating to Houston, a lot of times they'll make a decision to buy a house just based on a video. That's interesting because it's said, it's not always true, but it's said that our house is our biggest purchase. But I've never bought a house without seeing it at least once. So that's an interesting twist of things.
Yep. In fact, I'm getting ready to close on a property now that's in the energy corridor. The lady's relocating with an oil and gas company. I believe she's with Shell Oil and Gas, and she bought it. Her agent arrived and just did a FaceTime tour of the property.
Curious, what city?
What city is she coming from?
Or what state?
She's actually coming from overseas.
Okay.
So,
how about that?
Yep.
Also, on your website, you do more than buy and sell homes. Property management. Let's tell people a quick view of the menu of the services your companies provide.
So we do real estate, relocation, and property management. And the reason we do property management is that a lot of our clients are international. So if you're in the oil and gas sector, they may arrive, buy a house, and then say, oh, it's not the right time to sell a house, or I might be coming back in 2 to 3 years, right? Because we know if you're in the oil and gas industry that you're going to relocate a lot. So we just had to extend our services. That's why we say we're full service. You need us to lease your house out. You need us to manage it for a while. We offer that service as well. And we now manage about 70 properties as well.
In fact, as I clicked on that tab this morning on your website, the features and things you're doing within the property management realm look very thorough. So it sounds like a good service for people.
I've got an in-house person. We have great contractors. It's kind of crazy. Last year, I even had some people where we weren't managing the properties that said, Sherry, can you help us remodel this house to get it ready to sell? Because your contractors are cheaper. So I became a resource for that. Hey, our other management company, their prices are coming in much higher than yours. So we don't, basically, we keep it very simple. Our clients pay us a monthly management fee. We take care of collecting the rents, and then we take care of all the repairs. We don't charge extra money for the repairs, which is something that's big in the property management industry.
And as you mentioned, pivoting and addressing challenges along the way, even though sales are at record paces right now, or record heights, there's not a lot of products. So that seems like it's a challenge. I'm not a realtor, but if I were, and I talk to realtors, as you know, but I'm thinking, if I'm a realtor, where am I finding this product? How is your company adapting to that particular challenge? So when the buyer calls and say, hey, I want to buy a house in the energy corridor, how do you help them through that?
The only way we can really help is since we sell a lot, we know we're hearing about homes that are going to be coming on the market. So we kind of had this pool of coming soon inventory that hasn't been broadcast yet. But I did sorry not to toot my own horn, but I did a really cute video on explaining what this low inventory means. And I used toilet paper to kind of demonstrate that because I thought it was more relatable. But yeah, inventory levels are incredibly low. 1 to 2 months supply of inventory. The suburbs are even lower. Katie's probably got about a 1 month supply. And it's tough for buyers. The only thing we can do is, one of the things I tell people is like, look, we've got incredibly low inventory. If you go out there to try to buy a house right now, you're probably going to end up overpaying for it because you've got buyers, pent up demand where buyers are coming in and overbidding and probably paying, we're seeing up to $100,000 above the list price. So that's, that's above market, right? So I'm just advising people, just hang tight. We're not in the spring season, right? Because we coach all of our sellers all of these years. You say, oh, the best time to put your house on the market is April. I'm like, put your house on the market now because there are buyers out there looking. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of question marks. You don't know. And when we even think if I'm a would-be buyer and I do offer more than the list price, you don't know until you sell it again if it's a good deal or bad. It could be a super investment, so it's just hard to know with those
the last time we saw this, and I call it the speculative market, right, was in 2013 and 2014 when oil and gas was over $100 a barrel. And what happened in 2014, the end of it? Oil crashed, right? So it took about another year. And I'll just kind of give a quick recap of the energy corridor market. Those values just started coming back last year. So this is the longest downturn we saw in oil and gas. It lasted over 5 years. And even when COVID was making people buy houses like crazy, energy corridor wasn't coming back just yet because oil and gas dumped again to about $30 a barrel. Remember that? Back in 2020. So it really took us to the beginning of 2021 when we started to see our values coming back. So be careful if you're a buyer because you overpay And if you have to leave again in 3 years, you might be upside down in your house.
So it's coming back, though, as of right now. That
Yes.
is your report. Also,
Yes.
one of the things I think that you have an extra service for your buyers and sellers in the energy corridor is that you live there and you have invested there for many years. So I
Yeah.
think that little information could be helpful
Yeah.
at every point.
I've lived and worked in the energy corridor for over 17 years. I have to keep counting. It makes me feel older when I say that.
You don't look like you've aged since the last time you were on here. Just saying.
Thank you very much. Good creams. So I love it there because you've got Terry Hershey Park as a center, really, and you want to hire someone that knows your market. I've seen the ups and downs of the energy corridor, and people ask, I say, we really sell dominantly in the energy corridor, Memorial, and Katy. And by the way, we are opening an office in Katy.
Oh, drum roll.
So
And Katy,
drum roll, right? The lease has
can
been
you tell
signed.
us where or what part of Katy?
I-10 and Grand Parkway.
Boy.
Right on the edge of Chinatown.
Center of the universe there.
Center of the universe,
going
right?
over
It's
there,
where the
yeah.
big. We'll call it Boomtown, right?
That's
Because
right.
Katy is booming.
That's going to be good.
Yep.
Awesome. Also, as far as tooting your own horn, let's do that a little bit because you have had, since you were on last time, some accolades in magazines and all kinds of things. Go ahead, tell us.
Yeah. So
Like 2 magazine deals that were you were bigger.
Yeah, well, I was featured in the Upper magazine. That's now been about 8 years, but every year I'm consistently in the Houston Agent magazine. I'm featured in there and in the Texas Monthly as a 5-star professional. I guess it's been like 12 years in a row.
Well, that's saying a lot right there, Sherry.
Yeah, thanks.
We're so glad
Yeah.
that you came on the show here.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, what else should we know about the energy corridor? Let's tell people as far as the state of the matters there right now. What's going on?
Well,
What else did we miss?
oil is now higher than it's been in over 5 years, and we are going to see. I think we're going to see the energy corridor boom. Now, sad to say that we have to. Recognize that it's not a good situation what's going on. I don't want to get political in Ukraine, but that has definitely caused oil and gas to spike. We should be on about, people ask me all the time, they say, Sherry, what do you think is going to happen in this market? Are we going to go up or going to go down? I said, right now we're going up, right? But as we can see by this latest situation, anything can happen in the world. If there are events in the world that can really impact our market. I think the only thing people are really nervous about is inflation, price of gas, and the interest rates are going up. Right.
That's
so,
right.
yeah, I actually got a client under contract right when the Ukraine crisis started. Interest rates dipped and they were like, secure the loan. Right. And it really was. Timing is everything in real estate. Right. We never know what's going to happen. So we're about 4.5% right now.
Indeed, it is. Timing is everything in life. Also, we're talking with Sherry Campbell with Energy Realty. Before we close the segment, Sherry, what else should we know?
Oh, besides, I think I told you everything. I tooted my horn. We have a great YouTube channel. You can check out videos on neighborhoods because people want to know more about neighborhoods. I've got a market update Monday. You can catch that on YouTube, also on my social media pages. So check out the Energy Realty on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're trying to get information out there to people. So if you want to know what's going on with the market on a weekly basis, I got it for you.
And let's tell people how they can reach you.
They can reach us by calling my office number, 281-679-6266, or they can go to our website at energy-realty.com.
And the number again is?
281-679-6266.
Sherry, thank you for being on the show.
Great, thank you.
If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Let's welcome our Senior Division President of the Houston Division, Larry Warren. Larry, welcome to the show.
Glad to be back, Bill.
Again, yeah.
Again.
It hasn't been that long, but there's so many things changing, and you were so kind to tell us about Greg and Charles again and get them on the show. That is awesome right there. Let's tell people about what you do for Stewart Title in Houston and around your domain.
So I have 8 divisions, 6 AFBAs. Hopefully people remember this from a few weeks ago, but I work for a little over 440 people.
What's an AFBA?
Affiliated Business Arrangement. And we have multiples with some of our builders around the state of Texas.
And one of the things that you do as far as when you're doing your job, you're also traveling around Texas. Let's tell people some of the places you go to besides Houston, then we'll zero in on our Houston area.
All the way out to El Paso, all the way back to Houston, all the way down to Cameron County, and all the way over to Beaumont. So pretty big area.
That is a big area. So let's tell people, as far as real estate activity, we don't hear much about El Paso. I'm glad you mentioned that. How is the marketplace in El Paso? What's going on out there?
So when COVID hit, everybody was scratching their heads as to why we just blew up. El Paso lagged a little bit, but El Paso right now is setting all kind of records. They didn't start in 20, they started in 21, and it really was crazy what has happened so far in El Paso market. Cindy and her little group have set order records, premium records, a whole bunch of stuff. It's just, crazy. We have a shortage of homes. We don't have a housing boom. It's a supply and demand issue. If you listen to Dr. Ted Jones, and, he's got a really good presentation that he's putting out for the entire state right now as we started that in January and February.
So it'd be safe to say that almost any city that you cover in Texas, including Houston, there's a supply problem. Sounds like everywhere. Is that true?
We have supply problems with our staff right now as well.
That too, yeah.
You can only fit so much through a pipe. And I've been in this business since 1982. I have never seen the run that we've had at the levels that we've had for this long. And we did not go home during COVID. I mean, we manned the fort. We were in our offices. We redeveloped how we did closings in person as well as drive-by and, everything. So I could not have done what most of the staff has done over the last 2 years.
That's right.
Incredible.
And let's tell people, we can never brag enough about the Stewart Associates, not just here in Houston, escrow officers, all the people helping our business development people, but outside in the area that you serve. It's amazing that, you're very responsible for some of the fine people that we have and the fine people that we're keeping, by the way, right?
Yeah, because throughout South and West Texas, when I took that over, there were 4 offices. Me and Glenn Clemens back in the day used to laugh at the profit of $1,267. That's now a $12 million district. We have, what's amazing with our staff in all of those areas is our tenure. We have a lot of tenured closing exams in the small markets. It's incredible the family that we have in all of those markets.
In fact, your tenure is how many years?
A little while. Started in 82, so.
82. That's a little while. Actually, just a side note, I may have said this before. I think I moved to Houston in 1983-ish or so. So, yeah, there's some tenure right there.
Started out, go Cougs, graduated in 82 from U of H and went through their management training program.
So here we are, well into the year, as we said. In Houston, still there's a supply problem, but yet around the city, our offices right here in Houston are closing transactions every day, commercial and residential. If you were to guess, if you were to speculate, if you were just to pretend you're Ted Jones and I pretend I'm Ted Jones just for a second, what do you see as far as the year? How's it playing out? What do you think?
Well, as the previous guest just mentioned, the sales are still going crazy. We've seen interest rates go up. We've seen refis go down. Depending on what's going on in the world right now, 22 is going to be very, very good. 23 might not be as good as 22 if you listen to Ted, but it's still going to be better than 19. We don't have a bubble. It's not going to pop. This is just simply the new world that we're in with the supply and demand. So interest rates, according to Ted, will probably still inch up a little bit. That's going to start dropping a lot of those refis, but it hasn't stopped the buyers. If you talk to any real estate agent, they have a shortage. In some markets, less than a month, 0.7 in some markets of inventory. So, it's crazy.
It really is. It's crazy. It's different. It makes you want to turn to see what happens in the next chapter. Like any good book, what's going to happen next? We're always surprised. Also, drilling down here to Houston, Texas, how many offices do we have? I always forget the exact numbers. Is it about 17 in the Houston area, give or take?
I'm going to count our business with Howard Hughes, and I'm going to count our Beaumont. It's 25 offices.
So 25 offices. And we have it also right here in Houston, Texas. I don't know the business development people outside of the Houston area, but I know our team is the A++ team, and they're on the show on a regular basis bringing guests. Yeah. But this is an opportunity.
You always catch me on that one. We do have the A+, the A squad. We've got a really good group of BDOs. They are business consultants to our realtors, to our builders, to our lawyers, anybody that we deal with in the mortgage industry. They are the best. They really are.
And you know I say it on the
17
show.
of the best, I should say.
That's right. That's where that number 17 comes from. But I say it all the time. You hear the show. Stay close to your Stewart Title business development officer because they do things like educational things, fun things. Every once in a while, they'll have you on the radio show to talk about your business and what's going on. So it's really a tremendous thing for real estate professionals, whether the mortgage realtors, to be in touch with the Stewart Title business development officer. It's that simple, in my view.
Correct. We've talked about this radio show as a good asset. We've talked about the education. We now have actually, I think it's 9 classes registered with the state that we can give for continuing education. We're training our BDOs. We just brought in a new BDO that has been doing that in his previous life. So we're training all of our BDOs throughout the whole Houston market. Justin Ramirez is the new sales manager, really big. And, you know, we laugh about the virtual open houses and everything. I mean, social media and the virtual, Justin's got his hands around that. So we're trying to keep up with that with our customers, making sure that we align with them with all of their social media issues and websites.
And no doubt he has tremendous leadership and training abilities, too. And in the last meeting, he brought up some things that I didn't even think about as far as ways to maximize what's going on in the market right now. I hope he's listening, right?
Yeah, I hope he's listening. We speak daily.
That's right. Larry, before we close the segment, what else do you want people to know about Stewart Title or the Houston or your whole area?
I mean, you know, we've come a long way. We've started trading on the New York Stock Exchange. We all said that's going to be the end of Stewart Title, and it didn't happen until really the last 5 years, but we've come out of it. We've got a great new CEO in Fred Eppinger. He is employee-centric. He's done a lot of things. He's put a lot of money in the 401s. He's opened up employee stock purchase. We're in the process of redoing our complete HR system. He spent millions, and it's going to go a long way for not only management, but as well as the average employee logging in and out, requesting, doing all of their stuff that they need to do online. So,
Larry, let's tell people how they can learn more about Stewart Title in our Houston division.
It's real hard, Stewart.com.
It's that simple, Stewart.com. Our leader, Larry Warren, right here in Houston. Thank you, Larry, for being on the show, and thank you for your leadership.
Thanks, Bill.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827, stewartinsurance.com. That's stewartinsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is from Stewart Insurance, John Bramlett. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure.
Here we go again. Unbelievable show as always.
Always. Every show gets better than the last.
And it's great to help when we talk about Cowboys for Heroes, to help people in that kind of way. What a tremendous organization.
Absolutely. I mean, the more, I mean, we cannot do too much for the folks that have sacrificed themselves. And the thing that I like about Cowboys for Heroes is that they recognize the families as well. There are many organizations that will attempt to support our veterans, but the fact that Cowboys for Heroes recognize the families and their sacrifice is just as great, and the challenges that they face are just as great.
And as people are either driving, listening to the show at this mighty real estate hour at the time of broadcast between 5 and 6, or if they're listening on their iPhones or computer or after the fact, they know this is the time where they hear insurance information that they may not have heard anywhere else. What have you brought for us today?
Well, I wanted to share some information that I came across in a great article that Forbes had about how the pandemic can affect your personal insurance going forward. And I thought it was a really interesting take. And it plays off a bit about what Sherry and Larry had said a few minutes ago, that if you look at the supply chain disruption, so the materials, and then you combine that with the labor shortage that we've seen, and you combine that with inflation, and we've seen a 15-year high in a home backlog across the U.S. So we've got a 15-year high in a home backlog. So then you take the demand for homes, both new and existing, and you take the demand for renovation. So as we've learned on the show, that with people working from home, they have decided that, hey, I kind of like this, but my home's not set for that, so I need to do some renovation. So if you make those two combinations, you've got an increase in cost. So, we need to take a look at what does that do to your insurance coverage. Or if you think about, we're talking about more and more natural disasters with the climate change. And if something were to happen, whether it be a hurricane or a tornado or a mudslide or a fire, do you have the personal insurance to cover that? And that's where this kind of combination of the pandemic has really affected the coverage.
Well, in fact, as you mentioned about these disasters, I'm just starting to think here in Houston, Texas, we're coming upon, I don't know when the hurricane season starts, but I'm going to guess it's sooner than later, and that's something to always be mindful of. Also, be extra mindful if you just moved from one of the states like California or anywhere else to Houston. We do have certain things that happen here.
Well, absolutely, and I think there are a couple of things to take a look at. One is on your home plan, what is the coverage that you have? So is the liability limit high enough that if you do have to replace or rebuild, do you have the coverage? The second question I need to ask is, does your policy or your plan offer replacement coverage or actual cash value? And that's important. If it's replacement coverage, it's going to replace the value of the property. It's going to replace the home at the cost, in today's market's cost to replace. If it's actual cash value, there's depreciation that takes into consideration. So you need to take a look at, one, does your plan offer replacement cost? And two, it might be worth having that coverage versus an actual cash value. The same thing is take a look at your personal property. What is that coverage within your home plan? Do you have enough of a liability on the personal property? Do you need to increase that? Because there was a study done by BLS that they took a look at from November of 2020 to November of 21. What was the cost to replace kitchen furniture or living room furniture or dining room furniture? And that increase was 14%. So do you have the budget to handle that? And then what you mentioned a second ago, because of what we're seeing from a climate change perspective, do you now have flood insurance? Because we're projecting that within the East Coast and the Gulf Coast that there's going to be more and more projected hurricanes or storms each year. Or think about our friends that live in the Northwest. In 2020, in Oregon, California, and Washington, we lost something like 5 million acres due to wildfire. Last year in California alone, we lost 3 million acres due to wildfire. So if you live in that part of the world, do you have wildfire insurance as part of your home plan? So again, those are the kinds of things that you need to take a look at and consider and spend some time with your insurance advisor to discuss to make sure you are properly insured.
And on that note, again, we encourage people to get flood insurance, especially here in Texas. So, again, you just moved in, and also it's an opportunity to tell people, as you are on the show every week talking about insurance, we remind them you're not just serving people right here in Houston, but you are serving people all over the United States, so you can help them with those various issues or for their insurance needs, whether they're in Indiana, California, even Maine. Sometimes we forget about Maine.
Even Maine. I'm working with the client right now in Austin, and I'm working with the client right now in Newport Beach, California.
Well, when I talk to my son in San Antonio, they never worry about floods. but they have other things.
Technically, they should. If you live along a river and the
that's a
river
good point.
crests,
Yeah.
and it hits an area that normally doesn't flood, that's going to be a flood insurance policy. It's not going to be your home policy.
So it's very important to know what kind of coverages you need wherever you are around the United States.
Absolutely, and you can work with Stewart Insurance to determine if you are properly insured, and if you're not, we can help you get there.
It's that easy.
Absolutely. All you have to do is call 866
You're reading my mind.
728-2827. 866-798-2827.
What if you're in Maine?
Same thing, 866-798-2827.
Well, it's important. Once again, the other beautiful thing is they can go to stewartinsurance.com, because this 10-minute segment doesn't give us enough time to talk about all the kind of coverages you're helping real estate broker owners with the various needs that they have. E&O insurance, broker liability, cyber. I mean, we are going to hear this cyber thing that we talk about every now and then. It never goes away. It's getting worse, whether it's personal cyber attacks that are threatening or with companies and also real estate broker owners and everybody else.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
The cyber threat's not going away, and I appreciate the kind words about the website. It does a really nice job of, one, letting people know what our point of difference is, and this idea of being properly insured, and what does that truly mean, and how that's unique to each individual or each business. The website also does a great job of looking at the different kind of plans that we can help you build. So as a individual or a family, we can help with your home and your auto, your wind, your flood, your motorcycle, your vacation home, your second home. From a business perspective, working with property management firms, real estate brokers, independent title and attorney agents, we can help with their professional liability, their errors and omissions, cyber liability, business owners' policies, workers' comp.
An insurance company that knows about real estate needs. You're in the real estate world every day helping people. All they have to do is call
866-798-2827.
One more time, just for the fun of it.
866-798-2827.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Bramlett. John, thanks for being on the show.
Bill, always a pleasure.
And as we wrap up the show, she is back, Sherry Campbell with Energy Realty. Sherry, welcome back. What final thoughts do you have? What else should people know about you, your company, or anything else?
I think I should go with something fun, because you
Let's
made me dress. You said this
You've
is
got the orange
Go
hat on.
Texans week, so I'm going to say I'm in my orange cowgirl hat, and thought I'd give a fun little fact about myself. My dad is a cowboy.
A real cowboy.
And my dad's a real cowboy. Born in Montana. He was born and raised in Montana. My great-grandfather started a dude ranch in Montana. Was a great-grandfather. So my roots are from Montana. I've got a little bit of cowgirl blood in me, just become a little city-fied.
How about that? So how did you have to ask the question? How did you find your way from Montana way up there?
Well, my
Here
dad
in
was military,
Texas.
so he left Montana, went out, joined the military, moved all over. So that's why I call myself a gypsy, lived all over the world. Then I took the scenic route to Houston after I got married, lived in Africa and then France, and then boop, here I am in Houston.
Well, one of the things I encourage any young people that will listen to me, including my son, and sometimes he listens, sometimes he doesn't, but there is a world of experience for any young person out there, I don't know, under 40, let's say. Find somewhere along the way where you have a traveling role in your life, because the education you get from traveling is like none other.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
If you open up your worldview, I think you understand people better. You understand
Absolutely.
what's going on in the world better. And I think that I think you can't be afraid of change, right? I think when we had Harvey hit Houston, so many people, it was so devastating because it just rocked their world, right? They weren't used to having to adjust and make some changes and, deal with the what do we call it? Tragedy or
I call it tragedy, because my home flooded. I think yours did too, if I remember.
I had 2 homes and an office flood. So I think that's what happens. All my kids have traveled the world, and they can adjust, and you've got to be able to adjust in this day and age.
And you need like a movie from a long time ago called True Grit. You have it.
True Grit.
And I'm working on it.
That's very true. Yeah.
Sherry Campbell, Energy Realty. Let's tell people how they can reach you.
Well, you can either call me the old-fashioned way, 281-679-6266, or you can check out our website and email me through there by going to energy-realty.com.
Thank you so much, Sherry Campbell. And they are back now. Cowboys for Heroes. We have Charles And Greg Lyles, Charles Norris, that is, Greg Lyles, Cowboys for Heroes. Their website, while they're getting organized, is Cowboys4Heroes.com. Gentlemen, welcome back. A final thought. What else should people know? We want to remind them to help out the organization. So first, let's tell them the website again. Charles.
It's Cowboys4Heroes.com. Go in there, turn in your information. Let us know who you are and what you're doing, how you can get with us and help us. 6 months from almost today, we'll be at Fort Hood serving 15,000 military families. I'd love for you to come join us. Just get in touch with us and let us know how we can get in touch with you and get you invited up there.
Indeed. And Greg?
We're just excited for this year. We keep growing. Fort Hood's going to be great. We're getting involved with more first responders this year, more people on the border, some ranger groups, and we're just looking forward to serving these soldiers and first responders in 2022.
And I want to say a word for anybody out there serving right now or who has served in the military or anybody on the front lines, law enforcement, firefighters. We thank you for your service here on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We thank you 1,000, 3,000%. And right now, Cowboys for Heroes is there to help as well. Right, guys?
Any way we can.
And the website again is?
Cowboys4Heroes.com.
And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. That's right. This is show number 420. That is the serial number. It is also a Go Western edition, and we encourage you to go to Stewart.com/radio. That's right, Stewart.com/radio. You can see the fine Western gear, not just on this show, but the past 3 shows before. And we appreciate you listening. Please tell others right here, Stewart.com/radio. Thanking Cowboys for Heroes. Thanking Energy Realty. Thank you, Larry Warren, our fearless leader, Justin Ramirez, and on behalf of John Bramlett, Tom Carpentier, and all of us at Stewart Insurance and Stewart Title, thanks for listening. Stewart.com/radio. We'll see you next week. Hey, everybody. Bill Knapik, your host for Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Thank you for joining us on this edition. Check us out every Sunday, 5 p.m. after the news, or anytime at Stewart.com/radio. Cowboys for Heroes, a tremendous organization helping veterans, first responders right here in the Houston area. So go to their website. You can help them out. Go to Cowboys4Heroes.com. That's Cowboys4Heroes.com. Find out how you can help. Also, we would be honored to be stewards of your real estate transaction. Just go to Stewart.com to find out more.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, for informative and entertaining information when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate, tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. If you're a real estate professional, then listen closely. Cyber criminals are targeting our industry. They are impersonating real estate professionals, homebuyers, sellers, and title agents. Their goal is to gain access to your inboxes, computers, and clients so they can steal information and funds. Does your business insurance offset these risks? Not sure? Contact Stewart Insurance to determine if your business is properly insured. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827. Visit StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.